Hey, here we are once again. Time flies. Happy Monday, everybody. Hello, Jesse. He's the first one out there today. Hello back to you, Jesse. Thanks for being here today. And you got the day off there, do you? What do you do on your day off? Are you enjoying the weather? I know it said it's pretty hot out, right? I don't know. What's the weather? 25 degrees, according to my Windows weather. Today, the weather will be 25 degrees, a little bit of cloudy skies, and highly friggin' extra hot humidity. There's your weather report for today. Hey, my brother, Christopher Holbrook out there. How you doing? Happy Monday to you and the family as well, Christopher. Thanks for watching. And for the rest of you who might be watching out there as well, do me a favor. Say hello in the comments. Let me know how you're doing, and happy Monday. Hello, everybody. I'm David Burrows, of course, your weekly host here on the shoe. The really big shoe. I forget who I ran into a couple of weeks ago. They said, "Hey, you're the host of that really big shoe." It's like, okay, all right. It's called The Show with David Burrows, but I'll take that. Some plans coming up for 10-year celebration. Hopefully, mark your calendars for November the 6th. If you want to help me celebrate 10 years here on the show coming up in November. Whoa. Oh, my Amazon notification went off. Alexa, what's my notification?
One new notification from Amazon Shopping. Last month, you bought Joy, a portable digital
Alexa,
DJ
stop.
mixer mobile.
I'm not interested in doing surveys. I'm waiting for a package, so that's why I got excited there for a moment. Don Stillwell's out there. Hi, Don. I haven't forgot about you. You're on my list for like next week, because I got this week and then we're going away. Jennifer and I are celebrating our 4-year anniversary on Thursday, and we're going to take some time away. I'm going to be heading down to Hamilton with some of my brothers from the 999th Legion for a memorial ride. So lots happening this week, but I haven't forgot about you, Don, and I'm looking forward to that. Congrats on the anniversary. Yeah, thanks. So November the 6th, mark it on your calendars, folks. We'll have more details in about 2 weeks of what's going to happen, but I can tell you it will be celebrating. There'll likely be music, food, the usual stuff, right? And there's probably a bar somewhere in there, right? So November the 6th is the tentative date to celebrate. Lots of plans. My friend Dana's helping me out with that. So 10 years, I kind of look back and I go, wow, how did that happen? Well, I'll tell you how some of it happened. Some of it happened because of the great supporters that I get, not just from you folks that come here and watch. And, I realize, too, not everybody watches live. I had somebody say today, I watch your show all the time, but I never watch it live because it's 3:30 in the afternoon. I get it. It works for me. But I know that a lot of you watch it after. So when you are here live, I really, really do appreciate it. So happy to have you here. But thanks to the many sponsors over the years, Active Ears Hearing Center, where better hearing begins with you. My friend Christine Fiji's helped me out there. Our friends from Hughes Intelligence, been great supporters for many years. Saw Barry Bentley from Hughes Intelligence over the weekend. We were at the 5 o'clock dockside event for Alzheimer's, which was sold out. Great event. I live streamed it, and it was a good turnout. So I'm sure they raised lots of money. I don't have a number yet. But thank you, Hughes Intelligence. Joe's Discount Tire, of course, coming on board in the last few years. Great supporters. When you see the show on the go, or my van with all this printing all over it, that came from Joe's Tire and H&I Service Center as well, actually. And Oswald's Diner, of course, family owned, and Motorcycle Enthusiasts, of course, as well. They're the ones we did the Thunder Bay trip with. Whew. My butt is still forgiving me a little bit, but it was all worthwhile. Check them out online in their menu at oswalds.com. And, of course, from day one, our friends at AG Event Graphics, Huron Signs SWO, part of that company, and Guy and my friend Kevin, who works there. Thank you so much for all your support from very day one, 10 years. I hope they can make it out to this celebration. Visit them online at askguy.ca, and make sure you say, hey, David talks very hard. I don't know, say some nice things. You know what I'm talking about, right? But it is great to have those sponsors in place and supporters. You got to have supporters, as we'll be talking about coming up a few minutes. My friend Dave Brown from United Way Sarnia-Lambton will be joining us here in a few moments. So again, thanks to our sponsors. Oh, I got all these noises going off. Here we go. Close that. There we go. We're back. So good to have supporters out there. And one of the ones that I really love to talk about is our Tourism Sarnia-Lambton, or Ontario's Blue Coast. They now have an app that you can download on your phone. I've downloaded it. You should download it too. And as you're touring around Lambton County, you can earn some points and some gift cards and a whole list of things that you can earn by visiting and doing certain things in Lambton County. So whenever I hear somebody say to me, still, this really annoys me. There's nothing to do in Lambton County. I'm like, really? First of all, you have to get off your couch. And I know that maybe that was hard with COVID and everything, but you were still able to get out and walk, right? Get around. Download the app. There's lots to do here in Lambton County, and now you can get rewarded for it. So thanks to Tourism Sarnia-Lambton, Mark Perrin and his team down there at Ontario's Blue Coast for that. This is happening as well. Mr. J was on the show a few weeks ago. The Jam in Germain Park. Open mic and jam at Germain Park. Germain Park is a beautiful park, and I've said it before. I'll say it again. I often think that it gets forgotten because it's so far away from the road. Like we just drive by it all the time, and we don't get to see it. Take the time and go down to Germain Park and enjoy the beauty down there. The landscaping is amazing. Flowers, and the City of Sarnia staff put so much pride into looking after the gardens down there. And there is a stage for music, and the Jam in Germain Park, brought forward by Mr. J. He reached out to the city and said, I want to do this thing. They're like, yep, sure. Every Wednesday night in August from 6 to 8 p.m. He told me they'd get like 60 to 70 people out there, which is fantastic. Social distancing still, of course. But that's great to see an outdoor event brought forward. The musician said, I want to do this thing. They went to the city. They made it happen. Local music scene, very important in any community, but certainly huge here in Sarnia-Lambton. And as we're going to see coming up, we're going to have one of the co-owners of a new music venue, Rustr, going to be here talking to us after we talk to David Burrows. But you can get out every Wednesday if you're a musician. If you don't have a guitar or whatever, I think he said they'll let you use theirs, maybe, perhaps. Don't quote me on that. But just get down there. And if you don't play, just go. They need an audience to play too, right? So you can check that out every Wednesday night in August. And I think he said that they might even like move it forward into September if the participation is good and things keep working well, which from my understanding, I haven't been down there yet. I haven't been able to get there. Wednesdays are busy for me, but check that out in Germain Park. And we're looking forward to seeing if that continues. Of course, like the City of Sarnia had, their venues down at like Tecumseh Park and Canatair Park, Band Shell, and all different parts of the Agora. I think they had music going on, but unfortunately we weren't able to have that. So really nice to be able to have that here now. As I mentioned as well, the Alzheimer's Society had its 5 o'clock dockside, and that was a great success down by Dockside or Sarnia Bay Marina. Borderline Band was there playing the Margaritaville style of music. People were dancing, and they had their parrots on their heads, and it was just a really good time. And great food served up by Dockside, and the cold beverages were flowing. And I was happy to live stream it for them as well. So it turned out really well. So congratulations to the Alzheimer's Society on that. I know they're already talking about doing it again next year and on an even bigger scale. It was that much of a success. So congratulations to them. All right. Well, he's always ready. He's never late. I can tell you that for sure. And before we get to Dave Brown, we'll say, Danny Cacciamilio, how you doing, Danny? Boy, I miss you, buddy. We got to see each other face to face. I have a list of people, including my next guest, that we got to get together with. Shrek, hello, Shrek. Good to have you here as well. Let's bring on my first guest today. Here is Dave Brown. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks, David. And how are you?
Oh, I'm always good when you're around, buddy.
Great. Awesome.
I feel like, we've sort of been seeing each other in person, but it's always you're out for a walk and I'm out flying the drone.
Well, yeah, and to your earlier point, there is always things to do in Sarnia-Lambton. Every week you rattle off a list of things. Facebook has got additional things to do, and even just going out for a walk, whether it's down by the river or out by Canatera or even one of the nearby parks or conservation areas in Lambton County. There's lots to do, and for the whole family.
Yeah, no, and I mean, like I say, just go for a walk. I mean, sometimes that sounds boring, but when you get outside and you do that walk thing, you're like, I never knew that was. I'm still discovering things in this area, and I've lived here all my life. So,
well, as you know, walking down underneath the bridge with the water and the clouds, that scenery literally changes every day.
I can fly my drone down there every day, and I got friends of mine. My friend Barry Loxton is always taking pictures, and it's like it just never gets old. It's just brand new scene every day. That's a good way to put it. Well, let's talk about United Way Sarnia-Lambton and what things they've been doing. Boy, you guys really haven't slowed down even with COVID. You kept going.
Oh, you're absolutely right. We have not slowed down. We've been working behind the scenes, refreshing some of our online giving software. There's a few other pieces of software that we're doing for the first time. I think you and I talked in past shows about our brand new website, which is a state-of-the-art e-commerce portal. We've got a board members and key volunteers portal where board members can go in and see all of our board minutes and agendas, financial reports, all of that, all in one handy spot. So you're right, absolutely, lots have been going on. And with that new website and software, of course, comes training. So the staff here have been very involved in training and coming up with new ideas and making sure we've got all of our ducks in a row for this fall's campaign, which will be kicking off probably by the next time you and I get together online here.
All right. Well, before we talk about, I want to show the new website too, because I just looked. I see that it is up, right? But let's talk about this, because if you're watching this live, folks, this is the last day for this Play to Win.
This is the other website we got set up. This is exclusively for our 50-50 draw. And right now we're at the overall total is 1,865. But you're right, tonight at 11:59 is the last time you can buy a ticket for the early bird draw, which is an additional $1,000. So wow. I encourage all of your viewers to get on. The website address is simply united5050.ca. And go right to that site and you can buy tickets right on. That's united5050.ca. There's no slash or anything. It's as simple as possible.
Right there. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. So your viewers can log on. And please share that. It's on our Facebook page and elsewhere. So please share it, not just for today, for the 50-50 draw, but the actual grand prize draw isn't drawn until September the 15th. So there's lots of time to get in there. We're going to have monthly draws as well. We don't expect to be as successful as other groups that do 50-50 draws. But, if we can do, 4,000 or 5,000 a month, then that goes a long way to help bridging the gap between, the campaign achievement and reaching the goal.
Yeah, well, and this is just another example of how the United Way has been able to adapt. Not even, we keep saying adapt to COVID, but really just adapting to new technology.
Yes.
And it's a ever-changing world with this technology. And it's really become a new way for local organizations like yourself to go, we got to keep relevant here.
Absolutely. Not only is it providing us a creative opportunity to raise more money in a variety of ways, but also be more cost-effective going forward using technology that we've already purchased for COVID. And I'm thinking about things like more remote working and better service for volunteers and donors who ask questions about things. So you're right. The key for us and other charitable organizations is to keep creative, keep talking to people right here in our community like yourselves who've got a lot of skill sets and lots of ideas on how groups like the United Way and other charitable organizations can use technology to not only survive in COVID-19 and post-pandemic times, but thrive as well.
Yeah. Here's a brief look at the new website. This was, I think last time you were here, this wasn't quite live yet.
No. We went live in early August. I think it was August 5th. And there's even been a few enhancements to this site as well. There's also a direct link to the 50-50. There's direct links to online donation cards. A number of people are starting to donate online and donate shares and stocks. And there's some
really?
great tax advantages for that. And there's a number of spots on there on that website where you can download the transfer form. It's very simple. You hit on a key piece right there, our new funding focus, which is from poverty to possibility. And of course, we want to help people out of poverty and stay out of poverty and thrive. But we also know that there's a segment of the population who we have to take care of, who are just not able to get jobs and whatnot because of addictions and mental health and a number of things. So that poverty to possibility is a huge piece. We're looking at funding upwards to about 45% of our available allocations for agencies that help in that area. And your viewers may know that we're already funding a warming shelter out of Walpole Island First Nations. We're funding the St. Vincent de Paul right now for items that aren't typically donated to their food banks, such as diabetic supplies and baby supplies. River City Vineyard, we're funding there. All that kids can be has always been important to United Way and our funders as well. Boys and Girls Club, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Summer Autism Camp, breakfast programs are just examples of that. And of course, Healthy People, Strong Communities. Healthy People is where a big piece of that is our seniors funding. We know that seniors need Meals on Wheels, they have transportation needs, they have isolation and mental health needs. So we're providing a lot of funding to Family Counseling Center and VON and a number of agencies that help out there. And of course, the other piece of that, strong communities, that's the mental health. We know we've got to continue to put money into suicide awareness and suicide prevention. We have to decrease isolation and improve inclusion. And our agencies are doing a fantastic job right here in Sarnia-Lambton. When you look at the outcomes and the impacts and the fact that they're lasting outcomes and impacts, our community wins, not just the clients and the families.
Yeah, this is really good to have on the website too, because we try to, every time we have Dave Brown here, there's something we try to debunk a myth of, and that is that United Way supports senior programs only. And that's, I think we're getting better at that, but is that still something that's a bit of an obstacle sometimes?
Hey, it is. But we are making improvements on that, we're not. And the other thing too, is we're not just one organization. We're actually 20 different organizations that provide 40 different programs and services. And, we're local. And you and I have driven that home like a number of times. And it's not just the money raised in the community is used for local agencies. It's that local board directors, local decision making. We make policies at our United Way that make sense for our community. We fund programs and services that are meeting the greatest needs in our community. And so I think that really helps set the United Way apart. We know that everybody wants to help the less fortunate in our community. We don't always know what's maybe the best way to help the most people. And we believe that the United Way is nicely positioned to do just that. It's almost like we're the financial planner in the social service industry.
Hey, that's a good way of putting it, because I know you do. And speaking of that, like, you do make investments from the money that comes in. You're always looking at being completely transparent on the money, keeping it all local. And let's talk about something about that I'm not sure we've talked about before. Like, all the money stays local. Mm-hmm. But that's a hard thing to do. That can be harder than, like, sometimes, you would print business cards, if people still do that, and you might want to go to Vista Print or somewhere out of town because it happens to be, like, is it difficult to keep it local?
It is. And in fairness, some of our software, we've had to go out of town because, we're using a United Way proprietary software system, right, which enables us to keep track of the campaign and who's made pledges and that kind of thing. And the cheapest software we found is actually in the U.S. We paid just $4,000 US for that software. Other competing organizations, some of which are Canadian, are into the tens of thousands of dollars. So even though that $4,000 may legitimately go out of the community, we're arguing that we're saving our community $16,000 right, in that purchase price, and that $16,000 can go directly into agencies. The only other thing that we should mention that does go out of town is our dues to United Way of Canada. That's 1%. just 1%, and that's part of our administration cost. Part of that 14%, which is extremely low, even by United Way standards, is very low, and we're super proud of that. But that 1% gets us research data. They do surveys every couple of years to understand donor habits and donor wishes. It provides copyright on the logo. There's also staff at United Way Canada that interpret government legislation, so we can better understand new laws, and we can forward that information to any community group in our area. So again, even though the money, that 1% may leave our community, the value and the services we get in return would far and exceed that.
I don't think anybody would argue with that happening, especially when they really understand what the United Way provides to our community. But I want to commend you on that, because you were completely transparent there. You were not afraid to talk about, buying this software in the U.S., whereas I think some people might tippy-toe around that. Well, no, you've said that all along in I think a couple of years we've been doing this now. The United Way is transparent, is 100% transparent. Not as transparent as they can be. They are 100% transparent. And I think that's really important to a lot of people to see that, especially when they see the savings and then seeing that those savings get put towards either investment or into the programs that you're providing. But with all of this happening, you can save as much as you want. You still need money,
Yes.
right? And here's the 2021 needs target for United Way of Sarnia-Lambton.
Right. And we set the campaign goal at what we achieved last year, which was $1,750,000. You may recall we did miss our goal last year a little bit. But, when you look at the numbers and you look at the amount of new donors we had and the amount of people who increased their donations, it's a very good news story what our achievement was last year. And we know it's going to be difficult to reach that 1 3/4 million this year. We know that we've lost businesses, and we know that people don't have the same employment that they had before, and we're seeing inflation. I mean, working families are paying more at the pumps and are paying more for different, grocery items and whatnot, and that might cut into their donation budget. So we're hopeful that everybody who donated in the past is able to give at the same level as last year. But those who don't, we know we've got to pick up some new donors. And I can't think of a better first-time tradition for somebody to start supporting the United Way of Sarnia-Lambton to help us reach that 1.75 and really feel good about what we're all doing in the community and the partnerships that we have. And, with everybody's support, it's achievable. But like I said, we're not taking the easy way out going with the same dollar amount as last year. I can tell you that there's about $100,000 in what we call card value that we received last year that we're not sure we're going to get this year because of the economy and because of COVID and everything else. So we're aggressive, but we're realistic at the same time.
Well, I even like the title, the needs target. This is what you need. You'll certainly take more.
Right. Absolutely.
But the needs target is I'm sure it's very well thought. Well, I guess it'd be like a city or a household making a budget and going, this is what we need to be able to pull off and continue to provide what we have. And if we don't, that's dangerous ground, because then we have to start making hard choices about, unfortunately, we can't support that anymore. Did you have to do that last year?
Well, unfortunately, we talked to the agencies, and you talk about transparent. We were up front with the agencies, and we said, look, we don't have as much money. You may recall we funded on a 3-year funding cycle.
Yes, right.
And last year was the beginning of the 3rd year, April 1st to March 31st. So we're in the middle of our last year now. And we talked to the agencies in December and early January, and we said, look, we're in trouble here. We don't have the amount of money that we had before. We missed our needs target. What can you guys do with it? So there were a number of agencies that said, well, you know what? We had a good year in this area or a good year in that. We could take a small cut. And they would tell us a dollar amount. And so when you look at the amount of agencies that voluntarily cut their allocation, and then we looked at some of the agencies that unfortunately could not provide their service because of COVID. I mean, they may do something that's very much hands-on and couldn't do it through Zoom and couldn't do it electronically. Yeah. So unfortunately, they had to stop doing some of their programs and services. So they had some surplus money as well from our allocation. So when you combine those two, we are in a position where we did not have to make mandatory cuts. It was cooperation with our partner agencies, and it was all in good spirit. And so we didn't have to cut anybody from a mandatory standpoint, only those voluntary cuts. And services are still going on, and they're still doing great work. And we're seeing our agencies actually have an increasing need in some areas because of the isolation and the depression and mental illness that the COVID has caused.
Yeah. Well, something better than nothing, I guess, would be part of that philosophy. And then going, okay, hey, listen, we all got to get along here. We all got to make it work through all these tough times. And then, maybe we can reap the higher rewards a little later down the road again.
Absolutely.
I think it's great how you and your team of there's you and 4 others, right?
Right.
And then your board of directors, of course, as well, which are all community members.
Yeah.
It's great to see the survival that United Way has not only survived itself, but been able to provide some survival and some relief, not only to those that maybe you've had for a long time, but we saw some new organizations that you kind of, it was kind of like bonus money out there, right?
We did have that extra COVID-19 funding from our own compassion fund, where we raised an additional $100,000, and then we received some federal government funding, which we were able to flow through directly to the agencies. But the other key thing, though, are the thousands of volunteers that help raise the money, show up for the Day of Caring, or show up for this and that. It's those boots on the ground that are really important, and without them, there is no board, there is no United Way. So
that's right.
We can't underestimate the value of all the work that they do. And of course, the donors who are buying into our decisions, they're understanding the thought that goes into those decisions, and just want to make Sarnia-Lambton a better place.
Well, you've done a fantastic job, you and your team and all the volunteers. I got to move on here real quick, but I imagine you're excited to know that the Sarnia Sting is most highly likely, probably,
yes,
coming back in September, because they, along with many, but they really stand out as a large community supporter.
Absolutely, and I've been told that there will be a black and white game, like has been tradition, with the exception of last year, which raises a lot of money and a lot of pre-campaign awareness for the United Way. So we're grateful for the Sarnia Sting Junior A Hockey Club. They're great partners of ours. We wish them as much success in their upcoming season as they do to us with our season. And I look forward to announcing more details on that black and white game really soon. But it's coming up, and we're excited about it. Thanks for bringing that up, David.
I'm meeting with Jake Borey tomorrow, actually, to go over some details. So likely, I would say probably Wednesday, we'll see some more of what's coming of all of that. So Dave Brown, always a pleasure. It was nice to see you walking again the other day, and I appreciate you giving me your time. And we're still on for that lunch or beer or whatever we're going to do.
I hope sooner than later. Well, the weather's so beautiful. Absolutely. And it's always a pleasure running into you. You've always got great stories on the community and know what's going on. So it's a pleasure to talk with you.
Right on. Thanks, Dave. Enjoy the rest of your day, buddy.
I will. You too. Thank you.
I call him my buddy because he's one of my buddies. We always have good conversations, and we have bumped into each other in the community, and we always take time to chat and laugh and giggle a little bit. And it's always nice to have those chats. Dave Brown, Executive Director of the United Way Sarnia-Lambton. And just another reminder, there is their website right there. Their brand spanking new website that you can go check out and find out about their needs target and all the services that they're providing here in our community. Thanks again, Dave Brown. All right, quick back to the comments. One more. Carl, how you doing? Good afternoon, Carl, all the way from Oshawa, Ontario. As always, thanks so much for being here. All right, well, COVID certainly affected a lot of businesses in a negative way. In fact, of course, it's no secret some have closed, and some have said this would be a horrible time to start a new business. But there's a few people in this community that might disagree, and in fact, they've taken it on into the music world. And Steve Kiernan is my next guest here joining today. I think you're still muted, Steve.
There we go. Now I'm live.
There we go. So now you're live.
How's it going, Dave?
It's good to have you here, Steve. Well, I haven't seen you in person in a while, but for, I guess, obvious reasons. But here we are talking about Rustr Music corporation, a music hall, or it's just. And when I first saw it months ago, I was out driving. I mean, what the heck is that? And then I started hearing rumors and all this stuff. And I'll be the first one to say, why would somebody want to start a music venue in this time?
Well, we actually didn't start out as a music venue. My two partners, Bill Eldridge and Mike Beggs, we actually started a music app. And it just kind of evolved through the app because things got even slower trying to do an app during that time frame. We just decided, you know what, we're going to need a venue to do all our testing for the app and stuff. So we went out and rented a hall and got this going, and here we are.
Yeah, and it's gone really well so far from what I've been able to see.
Yeah, we've been pretty full almost every night. We're at half capacity due to COVID, but people are coming out and people are looking for live music again. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, timing's everything, I guess, right? You could say for that. And it seemed like a good time here. And especially when you've got the right people involved. I mean, Bill Eldridge, huge, legend in this area. I'll say it for sure. Very well known all over. And certainly his passion lies in the music. And then you've got Mike in there, who's an entrepreneur and, the app guy, whatever. What's your part in all this? What do you bring to the table?
I'm an app guy as well. I've worked for years and years, both at Imperial Oil, SNC-Lavalin, et cetera, supporting computer systems, stuff like that. The Seeds app that was around town for a little while, that was mine as well, but didn't take off due to COVID as well. And those things are still on the books. We're still working on them, but Rustr's kind of taken the precedence at this point. We're moving forward faster with it than anything else. Yeah. There's just a lot of musicians unhappy out there with streaming services, the amount they get paid, and we think we've come up with a solution for that. So
very good. Live streaming, what a great idea.
Yeah.
I say I've been doing that like 11 years now.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should join the team too then.
Well, I'd be open to listening to that too, because I love the live streaming thing. And I've seen that you've done some live from the venue there as well. And I'd love to help with that. Actually, it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Some would say too that maybe, and I was kind of one of the ones, I'll admit, that it's like way out there. You know what I mean? Like it's out there, and with the drinking and driving thing. But you've really debunked that as well, because how do you think you pulled that off?
Well, one of the reasons why we actually looked out there, is to make it a little more of a destination place. Yeah. Rather than people dropping in just like a regular restaurant kind of thing. So having to go out there and having to kind of pre-plan your route or whatever. We've got a bus that we're working on right now, so hopefully, if you get out there, we can get you back home later. So.
Yeah, that's certainly important, and that's great that you're looking to adapt to that as well, because that would. But I mean, it looks great. I'll admit I haven't been able to make it. I was almost there Friday night, and then I forgot I had to be somewhere else. Yeah. Some of our friends from the Oswald's Diner were heading out there, and I know they were there having a good time.
Actually, Art and Karen are. I think they're taking over the kitchen for us out there. So.
Well, I was kind of leading towards that direction.
Yeah. me, Bill, and Begsy are not cooks, so we are actually looking for somebody to take over the kitchen, and Art and Karen stepped up, and we're working on that right now with them. So.
Yeah. Well,
we'll have some really good food out there soon.
If it's their Oswald's food, it's going to be awesome. They're supporters here, but they're friends of mine, and I frequent their place because they do have great food. And it's nice to see another piece of local coming into that venue, which is really what this is all about, right? It's all local, or will you have some out-of-town local coming?
We're definitely going to feature local acts once a week at minimum. We are trying to get some bigger acts, like Buck Cherry or Our Lady Peace. Yeah, anything kind of under the 10 grand a night range. That's kind of where we're sitting right now. Because we're only looking at 100 people indoors, spreading the cost across 100 people. a lot of people will think it's expensive, but you start factoring in driving to Detroit or London, it's actually pretty economical for us.
Yeah, for sure. Now, pardon me, the outside that you're utilizing right now, how large is that? Like, would you be able to put on like a mini festival out there, or is it big enough for that?
I wouldn't say a festival, and actually we do have plans next year to kick off a festival for Rustr. But no, we wouldn't be doing a festival at that location. That's more intimate shows.
Yeah. Okay.
And hopefully, once we get Art and Karen on board, people will even just drop out for food and listen to some music while they're doing that.
If I know it's their food, I'll be there for sure.
Yeah.
David Wilcox comes to mind.
Yes, he would be great. It's hard to find that man now, though.
Yeah, it is. He's kind of getting up there, you know.
Yeah. And he was hard on himself, so.
He was for a few years, yes, that's for sure. I had the pleasure of meeting him about 3 times and interviewing him, and he was slowing down then, and that was 5 years ago. So,
well, you know how to reach him. Let us know.
I do actually.
He would be one guy I would be interested in. I love his music.
I'll reach out to his lady who I know looks after the stuff. Yeah, I'd happy to do that. So this just sort of happened by accident. Then could we call this a happy accident?
Yeah, I think we were just sitting around one night in the garage during COVID. We kind of aren't supposed to be doing, but we're business partners, so you do it. And we just thought, you know, it's kind of part of the evolution of working on this app, and the app is what we're planning on doing with the app is making it 100% artist owned. So we won't even have any real shares or anything in the app once it takes off and the artists take it over. So this will be like a live streaming app. Is that what you're talking about? And then it'll be almost identical to any of the other ones. You'll be able to stream music, favorite artists, etc. But all the proceeds, 100% of what the music makes, they get.
Right. So then how do you but you put all this work into that. How do you, what do you get out of it?
Oh, there's other ways of generating revenue.
Yeah. Okay.
They're
ads
like
or something.
They're like our loss leader.
Yeah. I got you.
Instead of ripping them off the way the other channels do, we'll give back. So hopefully they'll appreciate it and they'll all move their music over at some point.
What a great concept. Give back.
Yeah. Spread the wealth around.
Yeah, that's right.
Bezos could give me a little bit.
What's that?
The Jeff Bezos could give me a little bit.
Yeah, right. There you go. Well, they do have Amazon Live now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's any idea when maybe we'll see the app out completely? Have you got a launch date or?
You're probably looking at the first release of it probably about a year from now.
Yeah, okay. And that'll be like a beta?
Yeah. That'll probably be a closed beta where people that are either friends or family and things like that, or investors will have first access to it.
Right.
And then after that, it won't take too long to get the first release out. But there's a lot of moving parts in the app. And actually, if you're interested, I'll sit down and show you the data.
Yeah, I'm serious. Reach out.
It's really complex. So
let's set a meeting, and I can maybe offer some insight on the live streaming side of things or whatever. And I'd love to see it come to life for sure. Well, congratulations to you and Bill and Mike on so far it seems like what you could call, like I said, a happy accident, but great success. Yeah. And obviously you've already got long-term visions with the app and even at at Rustr itself. Tell people how often there's entertainment out there.
Well, what we're shooting for right now is Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. We have Saturday, Sunday on the patio out back, and then in the evenings we move inside for live music inside. During the winter months, we're probably going to shift that to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. So
because Sunday afternoon you had something outside yesterday afternoon. I think it was
during the summertime you utilize the patio on the weekends. But,
why wouldn't it?
During the winter, we'll probably move it inside.
All right. Now, Okay, but if somebody had like can they come and say, hey, we want to have a fundraiser here, or we want to rent the hall for a party?
We've actually ran a couple of events already for Coldwell Banker, and we got one coming up for Royal LePage. So we bring in bands for them, and we cater it. Well, Art and Karen will be able to cater it soon.
Yep.
But yeah, we usually do that on off nights so that it doesn't affect our business.
Gotcha.
Or the bands that we're bringing in, but yeah, we're always open to talk to people.
Right on. Well, Steve, thank you so much for giving me your time here today, and I'm really excited for you guys. And honestly, let's connect the time. We'll set a meeting up and see what we can do to help each other out. And before I let you go and get back to your day, is there anything else you want to put out there that we might have missed?
No, just maybe a shout out to Mike's business, Halo.
Sure. Yeah. Talk about what that is.
Halo, it's a hair salon in town. They're in the mall right now, and they're moving across the road. That's another one of our partners' business. So,
right, and of course,
gotta support local. So
absolutely, and of course, Bill Eldridge, he still plays with the ISO from time to time and doing his music. He's such a talented guy, Bill Eldridge.
Yeah, Billy's got some extreme talent.
He's got a few stories. I'm sure you've heard a few. I've heard a couple.
Yeah, more than once.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Steve. And I'll look forward to chatting with you and getting out to the Rustr there to check out some of the great local music. Have a great day, my friend.
All right, Dave. Take care.
Steve Kiernan, one of the co-founders and owners of the new Rustr, started out as an app and now, I guess, kind of a music venue located out on the Golden Mile. We'll post all the information for Rustr coming up after the show there, but check them out if you love local music. And like they said, if you get out there and plan your destination, and if you go in a group, maybe this time you have a DD and next time you're the DD, and they're also working on how they can get you home as well. And of course, check their website out online at rustr.ca. Thanks again, Steve. All right, just before we go, what do I got to make sure I do? This and this. Yeah, we'll just do this. Watch out for the motorcycles. We're still on the road, and some of us stay around. I got a friend of mine, Sean. Sean, if you're watching, I still think you're crazy for this. He rides his motorcycle all year long, no matter what. But motorcycles are still on the road, and keep an eye out for us two-wheelers. And us two-wheelers, we got to be safe and follow the speed limits and all the road rules of the road, just like everybody else. So let's just keep an eye out for each other. I do appreciate you being here, and I appreciate all my guests. Once again, Dave Brown from the United Way for joining me. Always a pleasure. And there was Steve Kiernan from the new Rustr music venue out on Golden Mile, and an app coming in about a year. It's going to be really exciting. That's like a live streaming app for musicians. A fair one is what he's talking to us about. So thanks again to Steve Kiernan for being there. And thanks to all of you. I appreciate you all so much. November the 6th, mark it on your calendar for a 10-year celebration. We'll be looking forward to that. That's all the time I got for you this week, everybody. Have a great week and an even better weekend. I will see you next time right here on the show. Bye for now.